What happens when a fax machine faces its worst nightmare? This happened several years ago when my ex and I were going through a very heated divorce and custody battle. While we were married, we sometimes talked about how rich people hide their assets to avoid paying taxes. I never had enough money to even think about doing something like that. But somehow she got the idea that I was hiding income. In the heat of the divorce, she told her attorney that I was laundering money and hiding assets. I couldn't even afford my own lawyer, so I had to represent myself. Her lawyer wasn't the worst person in the world, but he clearly didn't like me. He spoke to me like I was beneath him. One day I received a letter from him asking for an updated income declaration form and 3 years of financial records. The list of what he wanted was incredibly long. At the time, I owned a small communications tech company that was still in its early startup stage. Money was very tight. I was trying to grow the business without any real financing, and I was also finishing my MBA with the help of scholarships and loans. Even paying for copies, postage, or driving 30 miles to his office would mean eating peanut butter and crackers for a week. So I called him and explained my situation. He basically called me a liar and refused to believe that I couldn't afford it. I was already stressed, and his tone angered me. I told him that gathering all those documents would take time away from my business. He replied, "Well, according to your income declarations, you're not that busy. What do you do all day?" Then he threatened that if he didn't get the documents, he would tell the judge my previous filings were fraudulent. Contact the district attorney and alert the state tax agency and IRS. Maybe he was bluffing, but I wasn't a lawyer, so I didn't know. My company offered an e-fax service, which many people didn't know about back then. So I asked him if he had a fax machine. He proudly said he had a fax, scanner, copier, and asked what kind of law office wouldn't. That gave me an idea. I told him I would gather everything and fax it. He wanted 3 years of financials? Fine, he would get 3 years of financials. I scanned every receipt I could find. A McDonald's receipt from 5 years earlier? Why not? A long CVS receipt? Perfect. I even included the coupons printed at the bottom. I downloaded all my bank statements, credit card statements, vendor purchase orders, and every invoice I had sent to clients. I saved my full accounting journals, monthly and annual balance sheets, cash flow statements, and profit and loss reports. I included 3 years of tax filings and every letter the IRS and state tax agency ever sent me, even the pages that explained my rights. I created a cover page with a black background and big white letters. I added large separator pages in bold, all caps text like 20XX receipts or 20XX taxes. I combined everything into one compressed PDF of over 150 pages and sent it through my e-fax system. Every hour I got a message saying the fax failed. Strange. I changed the system settings to retry unlimited times until it went through. Messages kept coming in saying it failed, but I figured eventually I'd get a success message. 2 days later, a lady from the law office called, begging me to stop sending the fax. Their machine had been printing non-stop. It kept jamming, running out of ink, and shutting itself down. They had to keep restarting it. I explained that her boss had threatened to contact the DA and IRS if I didn't send these documents, so I had to continue faxing until I received a success confirmation. I suggested they simply wait until the fax finished, but she didn't like that. She asked me to email the documents instead. I told a small lie and said my email couldn't send attachments that large. I said unless her boss agreed in writing to cancel the request or reimburse me for printing and mailing costs, I would continue faxing until every page was confirmed delivered. She put me on hold. Then the attorney came on the line. He told me to forget about sending the financials. I said I needed that in writing and would continue faxing until I received it. He told me to stop faxing, and he would send the letter. I told him he had to send the letter first. Silence. Then he hung up. About 20 minutes later, his assistant emailed me a signed letter saying I no longer needed to provide financials. It also threatened possible sanctions or a lawsuit for interfering with their business. But after that day, every time I saw him, he never mentioned sanctions, lawsuits, criminal charges, or financial documents again.